Welcome to the Schaefer Method, the guide to your health. This is level 6. The 5 essentials to life. They're food, sleep, water, oxygen, and sunlight. Without them, we do not live. They're required for life, and that's why they're the 5 essentials. We can only live a short amount of time without any one of those things, a few days to a few minutes to maybe a few weeks. So these are the premise and the concept behind my whole process is to improve those in your life. Now we will get into exercise and activity, which can be useful and can be important, but not required for life. So I always put these 5 things ahead of those. Now, who is this level for? This level is for that person that let's just say a little ahead of the game. They feel pretty good about their health. They tend to do a lot for themselves, but there's a few things that they're just trying to figure out. Maybe they have a few extra pounds they want to lose, or just clearing up some of the confusions based on what the media is telling us. They get confused by Dr. Oz or the newspaper or what they're seeing on TV, and just trying to make sense of it all. This process could take 1 to 2 weeks for this level. Feel free to take longer. It doesn't really matter. All I want to see is you improve, change yourself, feel better, and move along at your own pace. Expect to move quickly though. This level is for a little bit more advanced, so it'll be a little bigger changes, but also expect to see bigger improvements. For breakfast, our goal here is to reduce all the processed packaged foods, to do a very well-nourished breakfast that's going to be mostly protein and maybe some nuts, some vegetables are fine, some fruit is fine, but get a very well-nourished breakfast. We can also use protein shakes if we have to. Our goal is to reduce the amount of sugar for breakfast so that we don't get the sugar cravings later in the day. We also keep our energy levels nice and stable throughout the day. Now breakfast will be 7 out of 7 days. So for this level, it's everything's set up as a 7-day process. So every day for the 7 days, we must achieve breakfast. If we don't, we just start over. If you mess up a day, just start over. Now, if you fudge a little bit and it's not too bad, I maybe might be okay with that. But really work on trying to achieve this, because the more often you achieve this breakfast, the more you keep it nice and sturdy and strong in your life, the better you're going to feel for a long time to come. Now, if we do choose a protein shake, which I have options in the products page, we want to make sure that it's always a low sugar protein shake. Keep the carbohydrates somewhat moderate, and a lot of the carbohydrates should be in the form of fiber. So, and also we have to watch how much protein we're getting. So if the shake is a real low amount of protein, it might not fulfill us very long, and we might want to have a lot of snacks that day. So if that's the case, we may have to add some extra protein to it. For you ladies that have a harder time eating protein for breakfast, there's a couple options here. Most often you're going to choose eggs, and that's okay, but just be careful not to overdo eggs. It can get really boring, bland, and also if you eat too many eggs, it can cause problems, just like too much of anything. So I don't want you to OD on eggs, but I am okay with you eating them. A good thing to replace it with is soup. Find a good hearty vegetable soup with some protein in, some chicken, beef, turkey, fish, and make a big batch for the week and have that throughout the week. It's warm, it's nourishing, and it'll make it very easy for you to, when you get up in the morning, to have a nice good meal. Our lunch, once again, we're going to try to reduce the processed foods for lunch and the packaged foods. We're going to try to eat fresh, good, hearty meals. My go-to lunch, my ideal lunch is a salad. It's easy, you can get it anywhere. You have to have a really big, bold excuse not to get a salad somewhere in this country. So salad's there. If you don't have a salad, you just have some protein, some vegetables. We're going to try to cut the carbohydrates back during lunch, and we can save those for later in the day at this time. You want to go for lunch, we want 6 out of 7 days. So if we mess up, we're going to start the whole process over, because we're trying to retrain you so that you can nourish your body, feel good for a long period of time. This level is the first time we're going to bring in snacks. So when it comes to snacks, it'll be 1 to 3 snacks per day. If you need more snacks than that, good chances you're not eating a good quality meal for your breakfast or your lunch. If you're just a high energy person and you need an extra snack, then that's okay. But just be careful. If you're snacking all the time, most likely we just need to increase the protein for the other meals. Now, when it comes to snacking, be careful with the the nuts and the dried fruit. And as you can see from our list, I try to get away from a lot of the packaged stuff. I try to stick with things that are much more natural and much more found in nature that are not man-made. Does that mean we can never have those things? No. We got 4 out of 7 days that we're going to stick to my snack list, and so that means 3 other days that you can play with some other snacks. But it's really important that these nuts and dried fruit, sometimes you just start eating them and you don't stop. So just be careful there, because that can be somewhat counterproductive. Once again, though, if you eat a really solid breakfast and lunch and you find that right amount of protein that works for you, you typically don't gravitate towards the snacks as much. Water. By now, our water should be pretty well figured out. We should have a good idea of how much water each of you need for the day. A safe rule of thumb is take your body weight, divide it by 2, and put it into ounces. And that's a good guide to go by. But the truth is we actually don't know. We don't know for sure exactly how much you need. So feel free to play with it. A little less, a little bit more. If you're waking up to go pee, then have your water earlier in the day. Try not to drink too much of it late at night. And really be careful not to drink too much water during your meals. Drinking a lot of water before you eat, right when you eat, it slows down our digestive system. It actually is not good for us. So try to drink most of your water in between your meals. And a great tip to have is to wake up in the morning and the first thing is have a big glass of water, 8 to 16 ounces. Just get a big glass of water, drink it down, and that gets a lot of your water, a good portion of your water away right away at the beginning of the day. But also it will help digestion, it'll help your bowel movements move, and you'll get your day starting out nice and energized. Now our goal to drinking water and more water is to reduce the sugary drinks and increase your energy. Water is so powerful. It can do so much for each one of us. All right, sleep. Now sleep, we're at a stage here again. It's 7 out of 7 nights. So our goal is to improve your sleep and give yourself a chance to get 6 to 8 hours every night. When we go without sleep, our body ages faster. We don't feel as good. We don't feel as recovered. We tend not to be as productive for that day. And I see quite often where people will not sleep well, and then they feel like they get behind, and then of course they're up too late trying to catch back up, and then they don't sleep well, and it becomes a really bad vicious cycle. So take your time, improve your sleep. Now try to keep your room as dark as you can. Try to keep the electronics to a minimum. Shut the TV off. Unplug the TV. If you need a night light, just put it low to the ground so it doesn't blind your eyes. And really work on maybe reading before you go to bed, and try to get away from the TVs and the cell phones and the computers, because it really stimulates your brain, and it's hard for it to shut down when it's that stimulated late at night. Now if you're really struggling with sleep, feel free to do an Epsom salt bath. You can do 1 or 2 baths, 2 to 3 cups of Epsom salt, a nice warm bath about an hour before you go to bed. It's really relaxing. It helps calm your body down. Magnesium is great for relaxations. It's great for cramping. It's also great for constipation. If for whatever reason you don't have time to do an Epsom salt bath, if you have a magnesium supplement, have it with dinner, and that'll also help you sleep. Oxygen. Once again, this is the first level we're bringing oxygen in. When I mean oxygen, I mean a couple things. One is taking deep breaths is one, but the other one is the air quality. And you may not know it, but for the most part, the indoor air quality is never as good as outdoor air quality, unless you live in a really sticky place. If you live right next to a factory or a field that gets sprayed with pesticides, herbicides. But most of the time, taking a breath outside is going to be more valuable than inside. So when I talk about breathing, I talk about air quality. It's getting a good oxygen in your body. So get outside, take a nice deep breath, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just take a second and relax. This is great to do outside in the sunlight. It's 5 minutes of breathing outside takes wonders for your body. If you work in an office or in a school, take a break and just get outside for a moment. Just take a few breaths and relax a bit, and it will be so much to reduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone that we don't want, and it also causes us to gain weight around our midsection. So relaxing and taking a few deep breaths here and there can be great for weight loss. It can be great for improving quality of life and energy. All right, exercise and activity. We got 3 to 4 days out of 7. Now, when it comes to exercise, once again, I don't think it's extremely, extremely important. It can be very useful. It can improve the quality of our life, but once again, it's not nearly as important as the 5 essentials. If you're exercising more than 3 to 5 days, or 3 to 4 days, excuse me, feel free to keep doing so. But please, if you're new or if you are a seasoned exerciser, please watch the video on the exercise page and pick the right level to start from for you. Now, if you are new to exercise and you're trying to get out there 3 to 4 days, if you just want to do an activity to start with, that's fine. I don't really care. Just start somewhere, get your body moving, and feel good from it. If you're really, really, really stagnant and don't move very much or sedentary, it's time to move. It will help you later in your life. It'll help you now, but it'll ultimately help you when you get a little older. We don't want to be getting off the toilet and making that a problem. We don't want to be having problems getting off the floor later in our life. So if we don't use it, we will lose it. But once again, like I said, it's not nearly as important as the other 5 things. So extra effort is one of my favorite things to work with, and it's just doing things a little differently. And in the past levels, we worked on being grateful for things. We've worked on looking people in the eye, picking up trash, opening up a door for somebody that you don't know, and just being aware of our surroundings and caring about people around us and being the example for other people. Well, this level, our extra effort is going to be just a personal challenge. It's going to be no sugar for 4 days. So find 4 days where you're not going to have anything that has added sugar in it. Now, that does not mean fruit or anything that's naturally in a food, but when we look at the label of something and it says added cane sugar or corn syrup or something that's been added as a sweetener, we're going to avoid it for 4 days. And this might be a challenge for some people, but I'm sure you all can handle it and you all can do it. And these little challenges will help us set us up for success later, because sugar's not bad, but we tend to overdo it and we tend not to like the results from when we do overdo it. So here's your challenge for this level. Feel free to contact me at any time if you have questions, and please finish all of level 6 before you move on. Now, if there's a part of the level that just doesn't seem to resonate with you at any point, if it's sleep where you just, your life's complicated, got in the way, and you just couldn't possibly, you had to go to the hospital for some reason, you couldn't possibly get 6 to 8 hours that night, don't let that hold you back. But for the most part, you should be able to keep these these goals and achieve them. But like I said, don't let them hold you back from moving forward in the process. Think of this whole process as resetting your default. Whoever you were yesterday, we're going to try to reset it to become a new default. So when life gets complicated, and it always does, somebody passes away, an accident happens, something happens, job's been lost or whatever, what is your default going to be? How are you going to react to that situation? And we're going to work on, through my process, is to reset that default so that you react differently next time. Because most of the time when that happens and life gets complicated, we're not happy with what happens. We gain weight or we get sick or something doesn't work out well for us in the long run. And if that happens, this is the time to make those changes so that next time it does happen, we can respond differently and be happy about how we responded. Now, once you finish the level, please just go down to the bottom of the page, hit level complete, and you can move to the next level. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at level 7.